Hey guys, it's Reap 100 Trader here with another trading recap. But before we get into the trade here, I want to let you guys know I did create a channel in the Discord link here that's below in the description. If you guys want to go ahead and go down there and check out the Discord, it's a place where we can definitely collaborate and help one another to build a strategy that will help us to be profitable. So just go ahead and check it out. It's down below in the description. But let's go ahead back into the trading recap. So here on June 14th, I started seeing price was moving down, but on the market open, it was 301 positive delta. Price was moving down. At 8:33, it was negative 600, but the price closed upwards. And the next one was at 8:36 at negative 279 delta, and price moved downwards. Now, one thing that I was looking forward was if that the price or delta was like negative 1,000, then I would believe that the price would continue on to the downside. But here I started seeing it was only negative 279, so I wanted to wait and see what the next bar would do. Well, in the next bar at 8:37, this bar started increasing with a lot of positive delta here, and I believe that the bar closed a little over 2,300 buyers in this bar. And so it led me to believe that the price would actually move up. I was hesitant a little bit on the trade, but I did arm long and in trend. And the next bar, when that opened up, it opened up with a negative delta at first right away. But one thing I need to know is that I should have kept it in long, because that is pretty strong delta. It's almost really confirming a higher low, which kind of gives you an indication of a high probability chance of it moving up, which you guys can definitely see that it actually moved up. But one thing that I started to notice is that on 8:43, I seen it was only a positive 853 delta, and then the next at 8:47 was only positive 597. So I started seeing that the buyers were starting to get exhausted, and I was gonna wait and see to exactly on the next confirmation on the next bar to see if there was actually some negative delta or even sell imbalances to kind of confirm my thesis that it was going to move down. So when I saw that there were sell imbalances, I entered short and in trend, and I took a screenshot here so I can go ahead and post it onto the Discord channel to kind of keep you guys informed on the days that I do trade, and let you guys know on the trades that I did take. And one thing I'm trying to do is really create a strategy to make it more profitable and a lot easier to understand on how to really utilize Polarity ATI to your advantage, or even not using Polarity ATI, but just using Analytica Chart 4 or 3 or whichever that you have. So at this point, like I said, I marked out that it's showing the buyer exhaustion there on the bottom side, and eventually it did hit my take profit. It did play with me a little bit. It got really close to my take profit, about a tick or two away from it, and that definitely affects me emotionally. But my thesis was pretty strong, especially seeing the confirmation of the sell imbalances. There was actually two sets of sell imbalances, but the second set went away. But one thing I'm also working on is moving my stop loss closer to limit my risk, so I'm not so exposed, because I've had it happen many times where I got close to my take profit, about a tick or even on it, and didn't fill because it's one of those first come first serve deal, and so first in first out. And so I was debating if I should move my stop loss to break even, but I didn't. I actually end up just waiting for it to go and hit my take profit instead. So it hit my take profit with $150 in the bank. And at this point, I was done for the day, and the reason why is that it was FOMC that day, so I decided to call it a day. So here we move on to the next one on June 15th, and this one was very interesting. So in the beginning, I seen a lot of buyers happening from 8,747 all the way to open, and so I decided to arm long and in trend. And the moment I armed long in trend, the price went back down and took me out. So I lost a trade. Awesome, that's great, but I still believed that it was going to move upwards because of all that buying that was taking place. Well, here it looks like that it broke out, but then came right back and took me out again. I debated to move my stop loss at 44.07, but I didn't, because I wanted to keep my risk reward 1-to-1. But it's one of those things that I need to learn, is to be more dynamic within the market, because my stop loss is pretty tight being at 3 points, but I'm really comfortable on just having 3 points for my risk. And so that's what I really want to stick with. But at the same time, I do need to learn to be more dynamic. So at this point, I seen that the price moved down with a negative 152 delta, but eventually it went to 1,000, and this should have been my signal to move up. A lot of times I started seeing that when a lot of 1,000 positive deltas or even negative deltas, it has a lot of movement behind that. And it definitely confirmed it, not on the second bar here on 839 with 222, but on the third bar, being that was 2,100 buyers there, 840. So at this market, definitely moved upwards real quick and real fast. I did lose 2 trades in less than 2 minutes from the market open, but hey, it happens. And at this point, I should have been done, but there was a lot of volatility at this point, and I did take a step back and took a break. So I decided, if there's volatility, there's opportunity. So I decided to kind of take a step back, take a break, look exactly what's taking place. And I took another trade, and this one was towards the downside. So here is one of the things that I still need to learn, is that stop picking the tops. And this was a bad one right off the bat. So I lost 3 trades now. And the reason why it's bad is because at 848, it was 2,100 buyers on that delta. Price moved down at 351 positive delta, but then the next one was 948. So this should have been a confirmation of moving to the upside. And I did not move it or armed long in the upside. I decided to go short instead by just seeing those sell imbalances. So I lost that trade. I'm down $462.50. So I decided to wait a little longer. At this point, this is the same kind of setup that I was looking at. So if you guys can look and see, at 853, there was 1,244 positive delta and price moved up. But then in the next bar at 855 had positive delta of 10, but price closed downwards. Well, it was near to 0, so this bar is really irrelevant. There's still a lot of pressure to move in the upside. And so I decided to wait for this delta to close 1,000 or over 1,000. And the reason why I want that is because it has a greater chance and a probability of moving upwards. And so I decided to wait a little bit, and I entered manually instead of using Polarity ATI. And the reason why is because obviously Polarity ATI would have filled me in at this point if I armed long, but I decided to enter on the close of that bar. So I entered in, I moved my stop loss and take profit to 16 ticks. And the reason why is because I seen that absorption there at 44.2875, and I moved my stop loss a tick below that. So I want to keep it 1-to-1, and eventually quickly hit my take profit at 16 ticks, but it actually filled me in for 15 ticks. And I don't really know exactly why it did that, but oh well, it is what it is. It's kind of one of those FIFO, first in, first out. So anyways, I did end up making some of the back of some of the losses that I took on early on in the day, but I wanted to at least make one more trade, just because my trade tracker only can record up to 5 trades, and so I don't want to take any more than 5 trades in a day. So at this point, what I was waiting for is I wanted to see, since there was a lot of selling happening on the 44.40 level, I decided to just wait here at this point to see if the price would actually move up to that absorption level of about 44.38, 44.39. And I wanted to see some buy imbalances there, and I wanted to enter long in regression, because I believe that there was a lot of selling happening at this point. The buyers look like that they decided to ride the wave here, and the institutions are looking like they're taking their profits at this point. So when we see here that the price moved up, I armed long in regression and waited for those buy imbalances to take place, and so it can enter me into the short side, and it did exactly that. It went up and entered me in, and it quickly won that trade, and now I was only down 132.40 for the day. Well, that's it, guys. Remember, link in the description down below for the Discord. Like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.